This is James Kalm, and I'd like to welcome you to another half-ass production. Today we're coming to you from the burgeoning new art scene of the Lower East Side, and we're going to visit Sunday Gallery here at 237A Eldridge Street. And we're going to take a look at some drawings by Robertson, and we're going to have a little explanation on some of this by Horton, who is the proprietor of the gallery. Is that right?
That's right.
Why don't you tell us how long the gallery's been open and kind of what your mission is?
Sure. The gallery opened in October of last year, so we're going on 1 year, starting our second season soon. And the mission so far of the gallery has been to showcase artists who are working on the periphery and placing them in context with contemporary artists.
So this work by Robertson is probably a good example of some of the things that you're looking at. Give us a little explanation and tell us about how you discovered the work and sort of what attracted you to it.
Sure. Growing up in Texas, I noticed Robertson's work in several different places since he was working in Louisiana his entire life. His use of language in sort of abstract manner as a visual element was interesting to me, as well as his use of color. His works are often infused with sort of a religious what's the word I'm looking for?
Iconography,
and also very sort of futuristic in his use of religion too. He mixes it with numerology and sci-fi and his love of comics as well.
Now most of these works are on oak tag or kind of a poster board here, and it's magic marker, and what else has he got in here?
It's pretty much always magic
ballpoint
marker.
pens.
Yeah, magic marker, ballpoint pen on poster board, just the kind he would get at the grocery store down from his house.
And you said he was also a professional sign painter, but that his only, I guess, training was through some kind of a correspondence course?
Right, yeah, he's rumored to have taken a few art classes from a correspondence course that he discovered on a matchbook. That was after his work had been encouraged by a few galleries in the area towards the end of his life.
Yeah, God, I recall I loved her soul, Miss Evelyn Stanton at 12 and a half years old. Now she's ruined in her mind. This is some pretty complex stuff. And you also said that these works are double-sided. Why don't you show us, let's see what's on the back of this one.
And they almost always consist of an image on one side and a calendar on the back, or the front, depending on which side.
So you get 2 for 1.
Sure. The images are usually, like I said, comic influenced, often pornographic, and then the backs for the calendars where he recorded his thoughts or his dreams, or also his visions, that's what he liked to call them.
Now some of these have got pretty complex calendrical systems, and I see he's got Bible scriptures and everything else here. Do we know anything about him? I mean, how his life was? Was he institutionalized, or did he have other kinds of problems, or was he just someone that sort of was working a job and sort of did this stuff in his spare time?
Well, the sort of deciding moment in his life, according to his work, seems to be when his wife left him. I believe it was for his brother, actually.
Oh boy!
And after that point, it seemed like he had bouts of schizophrenia that seemed to develop. So that's definitely evident in the way he uses language and the way he makes the works as well.
It's also it's wonderful to see that although he's using very simple implements, just magic markers and things like that, that he's able to get a great use of color and sort of harmonious balances with these kind of cheap, funky materials.
Yeah, he definitely pushes them to their limit.
Has anyone tried to actually, say, decipher some of his calendar systems and things? He's got some pretty complex things going back like hundreds or thousands of years.
Yeah, unfortunately no one's really devoted the time that I think that would take. The sort of most prominent collector of his work lives here in New York, and he is very familiar with his use of language and some of his systems. And there's also someone making a documentary film that's coming out next year, and I think he's delved into it a little bit, but it would be really nice to see some sort of catalog or grouping of the work in a discussion. Most often a discussion is biographical elements, but it'd be nice to see someone decipher those aspects of the work too.
Now, were you familiar with his work before he died, or all of this stuff has been posthumously sort of brought out to the public?
Well, he died in '97. The first time I saw his work was probably about '95. I never met him, so in my mind it always sort of existed apart from him. But for the most part, there are a handful of galleries that support his work when he was alive.
Can we see the back of this one?
Yeah, this spot.
Please,
here?
yeah. That's good. Yeah, it is kind of interesting to see these very synthetic, kind of high-tech, cheap colors mixed with this kind of very primitive, kind of obsessive note-taking and diagramming of his dreams and ideas. Wow, that's great. Top Sleep Dream, March 29, 1996, so this was just before his death. And some of these figures almost remind me of Copley, William Copley, one of the early supporters of surrealism. These also look like they've been, sort of water damaged. Is that because they were sort of left behind somewhere and allowed to, better catch that, allowed to sort of catch the leaks in roofs and things like that, or is that the way that they were just made?
Yeah, I think for the most part that's the way he treated the works. There were stacks. He was very prolific. He also created an environment out of his house where there were signs, and the outside and inside was decorated with signs and warnings and religious phrases, and that was destroyed by a hurricane.
Did he consider himself like a messianic figure, a prophet or something like that? A lot of this I see these, here it is, Prophet Royal Robertson, October 27th, 1980.
Yeah, he definitely referred to himself as Prophet Royal Robertson. It's hard to tell if that was, how serious that was, if it was slightly humorous, he would call himself that. But he also did believe that he received visions from God, and a lot of those are recorded in the calendars too, that he would receive visions from God in his dreams. So I feel like it's, fairly serious.
Well, anyway, thank you for taking the time. I think this is a very interesting exhibit, and good luck with the gallery.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay, so we're speaking with Sean Horton here at Sunday. What do you think of the new action here on the Lower East Side? I hear that a lot of galleries are opening up.
Yeah,
Is that interesting for you?
Seems like there's a new one opening up every week almost. It's always good to have neighbors, as long as they don't get too close.
All right, thanks. So this is James Kalm, and we're reporting on the Royal Robertson drawing exhibition here at Sunday at 237 Eldridge Street. Thanks, Kate.